Hello and welcome back to Killenaule. Who would have thunk it? I said in the last video that it would be cool to map church windows, and that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. I went to Killenaule today and took a couple of pictures to upload to Wiki Commons, and two of them are, well, one is of the Harry Clarke window and one is of the Meyer & Co window, and we're going to put those on the map now. And I've also uploaded some pictures of the church and the Heritage Centre. So on OpenStreetMap, you see I've added more details like the flights of stairs and a footpath around the church and all that. So we're just going to go to Edit and zoom in on the church. So the first window is on the northeastern side, kind of in the middle. If I highlight this, you see the little arrow here, and that's in the middle of the line. So I'm just going to double click there to create a new node and make sure I highlight the node and not the whole building or building part. And I'll put the tags for church windows somewhere here so you can have a look. And first of all, we have to add window yes and or building window. It depends a bit on the 3D renderer, how they interpret it, if they do interpret it at all. But just to make sure, and I know we're not supposed to map for the renderer, I'm just going to do it anyway. So I'll highlight the point and go down here and just type in building window and window. Yes, it's kind of redundant, but just to make sure it works. And the next one then is tourism artwork in the widest sense, because somebody might just go around and look for a certain window type. I don't know, people do that. And then the artist name. So artist underscore name. And because usually the stained glass window art is not one artist, it comes from a studio or a workshop. And sometimes their names change over time because some of those, especially Harry Clarke and Meyer & Co., they existed for tens of years. So also called decades. So they might have changed their name. And what I do propose for this, and I don't know if there's any consensus out there in the OpenStreetMap community yet, I doubt it, is that we use the name that's on the first entry on Wikidata. So this window here is the Harry Clarke window. So if I go to wikidata.org and I type in Harry Clarke, because we don't want to use the name of the artist. Of course, there was a Harry Clarke, Irish artist, you see that there. But we don't want him, we want his studio. So if I type in studio, it was there for a bit. I'll just hit the enter button. And you see here, it's Harry Clarke Stained Glass Limited. And Rebecca O'Neill, who's responsible for, well, not alone, but she's very much involved in Wikimedia Ireland. She has kindly created this entry for me. Well, not just for me, but for everyone to use. And she's added also aliases. So Clarke Stained Glass Studios, Harry Clarke Stained Glass Studios, and so on. So I would propose that we use this name here, just to make it easier to filter. And just copy and paste this in artist name. And then straight away we use the next tag, which is artist:wikidata. And it's just this number, just after this. And paste that there. And then I will leave artist Wikipedia out because I'm not sure there is a Wikipedia article about the studios. And then I want to add a link to the image, and because I've uploaded to Wiki Commons, I can use Wikimedia_Commons, and it's the Harry Clarke one. It's famous for its blue glass. I just copy this file : and then whatever I called it, or whatever you find online, and paste this in here, and it turns up then up here. Type, that's for the artwork. I don't know what, I didn't look this up before. So I'll go to stained glass window. It's probably too long. Because nobody has done this as much as I propose. The beauty of this is once this is done properly and with every Harry Clark window and every Meyer & Co. and whatever workshops and studios are out there, we will be able to filter all the churches that have those windows, and also it'll show you which window in the church is the one you're looking for. And that's even better than the map provided by Buildings of Ireland is. So I'll just continue with the next one, which is the Meyer & Co. They are a German company from Munich. I don't think they exist anymore, but they were around for a long time, and they are the ones that did the window in the Black Abbey in Kilkenny as well. So we'll use the tags again: building, window, and window, yes, and then tourism artwork. And I'll use the stained glass window again. So at some point it'll appear in the drop-down menu if enough people do it. And then artist in this case is the Meyer and Company stained glass. I don't remember what the proper name is. So Franz Meyer & Co. is what we're going for with the name. And you see it also has a German, some sort of classification. So I can type that in here or paste this under artist as well. Yet I don't have to type in artist underscore name. And then we have artist :Wikidata. And again, it's this number. It's a bit shorter. And did I forget something? Oh yeah, the image, of course. And my photographs aren't great because I should have used a tripod. So if you ever go to Killinall, take a tripod and take better pictures, and then we can replace them in OpenStreetMap. They are usually signed on the window. This window though is over the altar and I couldn't reach it. Like I could barely make out the names of the saints and all that. And there's no information in the church about it either. Wikimedia Commons and yep. Oh yeah, what I forgot is someone suggested in the OpenStreetMap community that we don't tag them as nodes, but instead as lines to indicate the width of the window, which I don't think is a good idea. But I did measure, I tried to measure this one. I couldn't reach it, but I just stood under one side of the window and my friend stood on the other, and I had a measuring tape. So the width was 3.7 meters. It's always done in meters. Just so you know that. And that should help in the 3D rendering. I couldn't measure the height, obviously. I'll have to kind of estimate the percentage of the height of the whole church in relation to the window, and I'll do that later on. But I'll also have to add the minimum height. Let me see if I can find... Oh, it should be in my uploads, of course. So this is the back view, this is the front view. So if I wanted to add the minimum height of the window to indicate for the 3D mapping where it starts, it's roughly half the height of the church, I would think. And I have estimated the height of the church at 24 meters. So if I wanted to add min height, it would be 12. And then I might just draw some lines, not on screen, to figure out how much this is of the whole thing, maybe a fifth or something. I won't do that now. One can also add the entrance door, of course, which gets us a bit in trouble because, of course, on this line here, it's at the same point as the door. We're not supposed to put them on the same node because it can't be the window and the door at the same time. So if you wanted to add the door, you would have to move it slightly next to the other node. That's all for today, and I will see you in the next video. Slán!